Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a very unique location of my video for fourth lord in the third house. This is probably going to be, well, it is going to be the first and the last time you'll see me standing in this location. This is actually the location of the balcony that's next to my office, where you can see the city right there, and behind that city is the beach. So it was just an amazing view that I'm gonna miss, but gotta move on to bigger and better things. So yeah, but since you should see my office and my living room right now, it's nothing but boxes, and just in the morning the truck is gonna come and move everything. So yeah, and I'm not gonna have my internet till I think by the time I upload, yeah, I'm not gonna have my internet till Thursday. So hopefully, I can upload this video by Tuesday night or by that before, right before I move. So anyway, just want to let guys know that. So let's get started with fourth lord in the third house. Well, what is the fourth lord? And by the way, if you do not know where your fourth lord is placed and what planet is ruling that house, so you can watch these videos and other videos in reference to them, for that check out the link here where you can find your full astrological report, where on page 37 it will tell you exactly what your fourth lord is and what it's doing, and then you can come back to my video to get more details on that. All right, so a fourth house is obviously, as I said before, is a house of your mother, homeland. People of the homeland, childhood. It's a house of conveniency, like cars and homes, or any kind of conveniency, like an air conditioner, refrigerator. Like anything that makes you feel safe, makes you feel, secure. And home is the major thing, and mother is the major thing. Two things that really always make you feel secure. So this is why these things are signified by this. And fourth house also represents land, as in physical land. It represents physical home, as I redundantly always say this in my video. So when this planet whose sign controls this house is sitting in the third house, what happens? Well, at this time you might realize that the fourth lord is now sitting 12th from itself. It's sitting 12 places away from itself. So most of the time people will be like, ooh, that's a loss of that house, so you may lose everything, including your home. Well, that's kind of a misconception, so let's clear that out. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, fourth from itself or 12th from itself, you'll get it. You just have to go and check out my books here, where it tells you everything from A to Z. Okay, I don't want to spend my time doing that in this video for sure. Well, the third house is a house of your siblings, your close neighbors, your close friends. It's a house of, everyday travels, everyday things. It's a house of your courage, your skills. It's a house of your willpower. It's a house of media arts. And it's a house of your writing. It's a house of your communication as well. So when the fourth lord goes into the third house, shows that a person's security comes when they are involved in a communication of real estate, when they're involved in a communication of home designing, home building. And fourth house is a house of private self. So what these guys like to do, they want to keep conversation with themselves and among their siblings. There will be many secrets hidden behind the scenes with their siblings, with their close neighbors, but they do not want to share their information to the world. So let's say if they have a great, one negative things about this is these people do not like to share their ideas, or they do not like to share their opinions with others, which sometimes matter because people can add a lot into it. Because fourth house is a house of private self, your inner world, and third house is right next to it. So you're not too keen on sharing your private thoughts, your private ideas, your creative ideas with the world. You only want to do it, with the privacy of your siblings, your neighbors, your friends, and that's it. Whether it's idea for real estate business, whether it's idea for home decoration, whether it's idea for even your private writing poems or something. You may write a brilliant poem. I haven't seen a greatest poet other than Jeffrey Armstrong, but he's a great poet, But they can be great poets because a poet writes a poem about his private inner world. And third house is the house of communication and sharing your writing thoughts and things like that. So they keep their really inner private creative world inside. They don't want to expose it. So this is why I guess you can say it is a loss to the fourth house, you know, because it is not helping you share things. You're a very private person, especially your communication. You know, it gets stuck between a certain amount of small knit group people, and it does not want to be, you know, sharing any kind of ideas with the world out there. But mainly your siblings and your courage and your willpower helps you gain comfort, helps you gain security, and helps you gain home. And your mother, it shows she could have been a very good communicator. She could have been a very good writer. She was, you know, and this also depends on a bad and good dignity. Either she was a brilliant communicator or she was a brilliant gossiper. And this can include you as well. So, however, depending upon what planet controls these houses and goes into the third house, will kind of impact your, you know, communication skills and your private life and your conveniency in a different way. So let's look at that. So let's say Sun controls your fourth house, and Sun goes into the third house. What does it show? Well, what is Sun? Sun is your personality. Sun is your ego, your self-esteem, government, fatherly figures. It's a significator of your career as well, you know, along with Saturn. So a lot of things are represented by Sun. So when this goes, it shows that your private self that feels secure in home now takes their personality and the ego towards siblings. So what happens is that this person may be very shy, but they look for their siblings and their close neighbors to help them develop their skills, to help them develop their personality, to help them develop their perhaps self-esteem. You know, because your self-esteem is really the byproduct of the people that are around you. If you have people who are pessimistic, who are always trying to, like, you know, mentally, you know, just annoy you and mentally bring you down, then you're not going to feel as good about yourself. So again, and since Sun is representing that, it shows that you're going towards your siblings and your friends and your close neighbors to help you develop these things, and your communication style may become quite egoistic with this. Your communication style, your writing style may have this really great pride and ego about your mother and your motherland and your people of your home, and yet you may keep it private, you know, but it'll have this really pride into it. So I wouldn't really call it egoistic. It's just pretty much pride that comes into play. It shows that you can also work in an administration for the government, because fourth house represents politics. Fourth house represents your homeland. So government of your homeland. So it can show that you can be working in a communication, or you can be working in an administrative side of government with this position. And your dad and your father figure was kind of like a sibling to you. Like you had a very good camaraderie with your father with this position. Let's say Moon controls the fourth house, goes into the 12th house, shows that your mind, which is your Moon, your peace of mind, your mother, relationship with the mother, you know, becomes very quite communicative. It becomes, you know, very much about development of your mental skills that were helped with your mother. Your mother was there as like a friend to you to help you communicate. You know, I've heard a lot of astrologers and a lot of classical texts say, because Moon is now 12th from itself, your relationship with the mother is ruined, and your mother's health may not be good, and this and that. No, that's not the case. Okay, those only happens again with yogas, with conjunction and aspects. Without that, it's a great placement. It's a spiritual placement. Your private self is now finding itself through spirituality and through communication of the spirituality to find your security, and mother helps you do that. Mother brings this spiritual communication. Mother brings this spiritual artistic skills in your life. You know, mother becomes this beacon of you know, spiritual communication with you. You ask your mother a lot, or your father, as I said, that, hey, what is this life about? What is this about? And they help you, they communicate that with you in a very, you know, profound manner. Let's say Mercury controls your fourth house. Mercury goes into the third house, shows that your Mercury is your communication skills. It's a significator of your communication and your speech, your business skills, your education. And it shows that the person has developed a very strong business skill of real estate, perhaps a very strong business skill of, even teaching like kids in a grade school. And Mercury here can show that your siblings were your greatest avenue of developing your communication skills. And since third lord represents effort, it shows you put a lot of effort in writing, in communication, in speech, to help you feel secure. Like your sense of security will come through when you're communicating with people, whether it may be locally or professionally. But anytime, let's say if you become a real estate agent, your speech is going to be the most important asset for you to sell that land. It doesn't matter if you're an architect, designer, real estate agent. All of this will require communication, because now Mercury is ruling the communication and now sitting in the house of communication. Okay, let's talk about Venus. Let's say Venus controls your 7th house. Venus controls your 4th house, goes into the 3rd house. Okay, what it shows is that Venus is your sense of loving other people, sense of forming a relationship with other people. It represents wife, it represents spouse for a person. And what this can show is that your meeting with the spouse and your comfort through spouse were actually kind of requiring a lot of effort. Like, in order for you to either provide something to your spouse in sense of comfort, or a spouse giving you something in sense of comfort, it will be like an effort. Because Venus here could be debilitated, or Venus could be in a very fiery sign. So what this shows, that the communication is there with the spouse. However, it requires a lot of effort for you to communicate with them. Any relationship that you form in life with anyone, it doesn't have to be romantic. It can be any relationship that you form, will always require effort from your side. So that's one of the negative side that you can see with Venus here. But however, artistically, this is a brilliant placement. To be an artist, to be an actor, to be a sculptor, to be even a writer of romantic novels, because you use your private feelings to communication. Your sense of your family, and your mother herself, was very much involved in all kinds of turbulence and all kinds of lot of hard work and effort, and through that you were able to develop somehow your artistic skills. Let's say Mars controls your 3rd house, and Mars controls your 4th house, sits in the 3rd house. This is actually a very great placement for a real estate business and builder, because Mars is a significator of the 3rd house. He's a significator of willpower and efforts, and Mars is also the significator of land. So just because Mars is going 12th from itself doesn't mean Mars is losing its courage. Mars is losing the land for itself. No, what it shows, this person has great artistic talent and effort and great willpower to somehow create their life in real estate or architecture or engineering of anything to do with home building, not home decor, but mainly home building and engineering of home. Because Mars is a significator of this thing, and now it's giving you great strength and power to do this. So, again, with this, you can find really powerful, rich real estate agents. People who are able to just go out and say, I'm going to do this. Now, it doesn't have to be real estate. It could be anything. It could be your artistic talent. It could be you playing sports. It could be you playing as a pride for your home country. Like, you can be an athlete, and 4th house represents home country, and Mars represents an athlete. So it can represent so many different things. But what it mainly shows, as far as the basic concept of this alignment is concerned, is that you will put a lot of effort, and your willpower will be very strong to take care of the things of the 4th house. Whether it's your mother, your home, your people of the homeland, okay, or building your own security in this case. Let's say Jupiter controls the 4th house, goes into the 3rd house, shows that Jupiter, first of all, is your higher self, your spiritual self, your gurus, Jupiter also represents finance. So what it shows that the need of the fourth house and finances are going to be coming through efforts like any other planet. But now Jupiter is going to help you develop a philosophical view about how to bring security to yourself. Your communication style will be about homeland and people of the home, or building homes, but it'll be far more spiritual and philosophical about it. You will be able to expand your empire, of real estate. You will be able to expand your empire of like even doing consultation, not just astrological consultation, but any kind of psychiatry or psychological consultation. You will be able to put your own effort into building a business of things related to the fourth house. So it's really great. And then what it shows again, your siblings will become your teacher, who will help you, teach you how to progress with the things of the fourth house. Your mother becomes this not just a teacher, but also like a fatherly figure type of person for you. Because again, fourth house is mother. No matter what planet is set there, what planet controls it, it is showing something about your mother. So it's showing the same thing, but just a little bit different. Okay, let's say Saturn controls the fourth house, goes into the third house, shows that there's a lot of effort that are requiring in order to fulfill your needs of the fourth house, your conveniency, your any kind of fulfillment that you need in your life. Happiness requires effort. These are the people who just keep putting their forth of effort, making everybody happy, and they may not feel happy, or they may not receive happiness from them, from the other people, till later on in life. Like I say, even mid-30s. And Saturn here can frustrate a person in terms of not only their mother, but siblings as well. Because Saturn is a great malefic, and it's controlling your fourth house, sitting in the third house. So you bring the energy of the fourth into the third house. You're trying to express your private thoughts and your private feelings with your siblings, but they're not listening to you. They're not really caring about it. Your mother as well is kind of detached from you. You try hard, you try to be disciplined for her, you try to be organized for her, and yet you just don't feel that love with her. Unless, of course, moon is well placed. If moon is well placed, then all these other positions will have a different say on it, which obviously we'll go through later on. But this is how these planet reacts when they go 12th from itself in the fourth house. All right. So guys, this was my analysis of fourth lord in the 12th house. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below. And if you want to know again your full astrological report and all the details of astrology, which are in my book, Astrology, Aspect and Conjunctions at the Speed of Light, which can be found at the link here. So check it out. Otherwise, we'll see you from my new home.